Can you cure your mental illness through compassion and love? Can you heal your way out of depression and sadness and loneliness by helping and serving others? Is compassion the answer? Can you become your own oxytocin or oxycontin, I never know which one's the drug and which one's the chemical, drug dealer in your own biochemical sphere just by being compassionate? The answer is yes. These statistics come from a study called The Compassionate Instinct, published by Berkeley University. Berkeley, we'll never know. Helping others can bring us pleasure. A study was done at Emory University that entailed participants helping someone else while their brain activity was recorded. It turned out that helping other people triggered the brain activity associated with pleasure and reward. They were able to determine that indeed helping others does bring us the same pleasure we get from gratification of personal desire. Science, once again, proving what spirituality has always known. If you can reach beyond the confines of your solipsistic mind, you will be rewarded. It will flood you with, what is it? Oxytocin. Yeah, that's the one. Oxytocin, that's what we're after. Check out this. When you're crying and a friend comforts you by rubbing your back or holding you as you cry, you tend to feel better and more relieved inside. That's because your body's producing oxytocin, which makes you feel a bit better. There's often a biochemical corollary to changes in feelings. Of course there is, but what's even deeper than that? What's the cradle, the crucible of this oxytocin? Where's it all coming from? Is it possible that certain values, certain methods and techniques can give you access to a realm that is inaccessible to those of us that live under the illusion that we are just an individual trapped here in this bizarre box of space and time with nothing but pleasure and prestige and privilege to see us through? Is it possible that adjacent, somehow behind, somewhere beyond space and time, there is a resource accessible to us? I mean, this is a rationalistic and scientific approach, and nothing wrong with that. Who doesn't like rationalism? Except there are limitations when it comes to the formulation of ideologies and methods that provide meaning for human beings, creatures that find it very, very difficult to survive without meaning, that become drug addicts without meaning, that become mentally ill and suicidal without meaning. So I like these studies that show that being compassionate and kind is rewarding in and of itself, and underwrite it with the hormonal and biochemical and neurological information that supports it. But isn't it interesting that these values have been found and articulated before, archaically, prior to the ability to technologically track and chart their potency? Yes, it is bloody interesting, because it suggests there's a way of accessing information that's not sensorial or sensual, that beyond the material realm there are other means of conveying and understanding knowledge, and perhaps more importantly even the knowledge, wisdom. If you are a person that feels your life lacks meaning, instead of thinking about yourself and how you can help yourself, and I'm talking to myself here, think about how you can help other people. Every day I try to find ways of being compassionate and kind to other people. I try to speak to other people with kindness and compassion, and that don't mean I don't make mistakes. Of course I do. I can be selfish when I'm driving. I can be selfish if someone don't do what I want them to do. Of course I can. I'm a human being and I'm flawed, but at least I know, and now it's scientifically underwritten, that if I do a warm smile or a friendly gesture or an affirmative body signal to another person, it will actually trigger more oxytocin, delicious oxytocin, causing a chemical reaction in your body that motivates you to be more compassionate. So now you can see why starting off your day with a positive attitude towards others makes it easy to continue doing it for the rest of the day. When you wake up, when you get out of your bed, particularly if you're a person whose first thoughts on awakening, and this is pretty true of me, it can be like, oh God, the day. I'm not going to get up and move about, have I, and talk to other people and do stuff. I'm still like that. If you feel that, try this. Gratitude. Oh, I'm alive, and I'm here in the somethingness amidst all this nothingness. I'm here in the knowable amidst all this unknowableness. Who can I be kind to? Who can I be loving to? Of course, the people it's hardest to be compassionate to, the people that are closest to you, those that you love most, those who you subject to your casual cruelties and lazy, idiosyncratic flaws. Well, my suggestion is that you start with them. Start shining a light towards them. Start illuminating them with your love. And then as you go through the day, think of the people that you meet and think of their vulnerability. Don't just go up to them and rub them on their back because you're after a hit of the old oxytocin. That's not how we go through life. Touch, though, can be beautiful. Touch need not always be invasive. Consensual, loving touch between human beings, social animals, grooming apes, the linguistic chuckle, the babbling, burring, endless labial language there, lingua forever flapping prior to this, grooming and picking and touching and comforting, somewhere ancient, somewhere in the ancient mind, the mind that's had many, many, many millennia, more even than that, to evolve. There are secrets and portals that can be accessed through basic representations and demonstrations of oneness through love. Get out there and serve yourself up some oxytocin through being kind to other people, particularly where you can't be found out. That's the jackpot of the compassion game. But make it your milieu. Try, like me, to be compassionate to others, to distract you from your self-centeredness, because then when I'm next self-centered, there'll be more people that know about this stuff and remind me, why are you being so self-centered? You're lost in your own vanity and your narcissism. All is vanity. Free yourself, Russell. Free yourself from the tyranny of self-centeredness, from the tyranny of narcissism. Welcome to the free world of interconnectivity as best demonstrated through compassion. Thank you. If you like that video, why don't you watch How to Feel Better? Why don't you? Why don't you go on a spree of watching videos? Just keep watching them.